Greetings, salutations, and hello to all my freaks and creeps. I am your host, VideoVomit. Today is all about movies. Every other Thursday, I unlock my friend Tom out of the small dog kennel I keep him in the storage closet, and we get to talk about movies. Tom, how are you feeling?
It's a real privilege.
How's your back?
I don't want to talk about it.
I tried doing the Nolan technique of smacking your back into shape, but
yeah, well,
you know. Sorry.
Sorry.
Today,
apologies appreciated.
all about movies. That's why he's here. And we're going to be talking about the latest in what's going on in the world of news. And our first story is going to be about a video game, not about a movie. So that goes, I'm really on brand here today. Today, we're going to be talking about the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer. I think we got that. We could cue that up. And then, so the trailer I think it's a prequel to the last Red Dead Redemption, and it's more of a story about like a guy, what I'm assuming, trying to gather a bunch of people together. Because one of the earlier posters had people lined up on it, like I think it was like 7 people or something like that, and I think that a lot of people were assuming that you were going to play as like seven different people, but I don't think that that's going to happen because GTA 5 had the 3 people to pick from, but I think that it's mainly going to focus on this one guy. And about what he's doing is like gathering people, like I said, and I think it looks like they're kind of maybe doing some kind of job or something. I'm not really sure.
Putting together a team.
Putting together their like the bank robbery team, or maybe it's kind of like GTA where you get to do like some like missions, some like heist type things.
Sure.
Because I think that would be cool because, the first Red Dead Redemption, they did similar stuff, but maybe, kind of escalating that because they've like upped their game with like this whole, how they do it in in the gameplay, how it's like more like plan based or something like that. So yeah, I don't know where the trailer was, but what are some of your thoughts on it?
I thought it looked pretty cool. I've never played the first one, but I do like Rockstar a lot, and just like looking at it, the similarities to the GTA games that I do like. I would be interested in it.
Yeah, run, gun, get a horse, beat up some villagers, some people, and go off on your own merry way. I guess we'll just move on. We got some. I was watching Spiderman Homecoming last night actually, and I was watching all the deleted scenes. There's a lot of extras on the Blu-ray and the digital release, and including all those caps like rapping with Cap is what it was called. It's like all these like not infomercial, like a public public service announcement. And so I was watching some of the deleted scenes, and Donald Glover's character in there, called his name's Aaron, and he kind of popped up like I think like twice in the movie. First during the weapons deal. Spoilers for Spider-Man if you haven't watched it. If you haven't yet, you should.
Shame on you.
Shame on you, yeah. So he goes and he runs away after that, and then later on, Spider-Man comes back to question him, and he like whips his sticks him to the trunk of his car, and Donald Glover's character Aaron is stuck there. Some people that would know a lot about comics would know that Aaron's character is actually the uncle to the Ultimate Universe's Miles Morales' character. But it's kind of weird because those universes really aren't like, they're kind of like mixing and matching what can be. And now there's Red Dead Redemption. Well, there it is. I'm gonna keep talking about Spider-Man though. So Miles, he doesn't get name dropped specifically in the in that scene that he's in the movie, but I was watching the deleted scenes, and in this deleted scene, his name is actually dropped. Miles's name is actually dropped.
And he does. He's a little. He mentions it like, I got a nephew.
It's very.
But he doesn't by
it's
name.
Very casual. It's like he basically says like he's stuck there, and the scene is him like trying to get out. He like uses his keys, like he's doing all this shit, and he can't get out. And he like asked this woman for help, and I don't know why there's a, but so then he tries to. He tries to get it off with the keys, like I said, and then he's like totally late. So then he calls his nephew, who he talks about, and he says, "Sorry, Miles, I won't be able to make it." So now people are up in a tizzy about this because they're like, "Well, does this make it canon? Is this actually what's happening? Is Miles part of the canon now?" But you know, a lot of people would say no because it's actually a deleted scene.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I feel weird about it because of the fact that, one, they filmed it, unless he ad-libbed that on the set or something, but one, that was written and filmed, and two, they released it as a deleted scene.
Right, yeah.
So, while it might not technically be canon, I think it would be odd for them to put that out if they didn't want people thinking that.
Totally. Yeah, I think it confirms it. I think there's been plenty of deleted scenes in other Marvel movies that have kind of like played into something that actually happened later on.
And if nothing else, if they don't decide to develop that, it's just a fun Easter egg. Like
totally.
A really heavy-handed Easter egg.
I think that maybe Feige decided to cut it out because, I mean, or maybe the director. I don't know. I don't want to. Feige just hovered down and was like, no. But maybe they didn't want it. I'll use they. They did not want that in there because because to me, when it's like Miles Morales confirmed, it's like, well, great. Well, what? I'm worried for Peter now. Like so. Sure. I don't think the public.
They don't want you looking over your shoulder,
or the comic fans to be spitting poison into
after
other
one
people's
movie
ears.
of Peter Parker or two, I guess.
That would be like the worst thing ever. Let me reiterate. I would love Miles Morales to be in there, but maybe they can coexist somehow, or maybe like I don't know, maybe Sony or one of them can have one Spider-Man, and then in the Marvel movies, then they can like use that Spider-Man for the other. Maybe they're setting something up there without having to merge universes like in the comic books. Yeah. And then our second little story thing before we get to the Superman story. This is about Thor Ragnarok. This is a potential spoiler. I don't have any picture for this or anything because it's just it might not even be worth a picture. I had seen a thing about it last night, and I thought it was worthy enough to be in here, worth our discussion. But this could be a spoiler for Thor Ragnarok, so that's your warning. I wish so. A scene there's a scene in Asgard apparently, and they're doing a like old-timey Shakespearean play of what they think happened in the first Thor movie.
Okay.
And there's a cameo by a certain actor who's playing Loki.
All right.
And that actor's name is Matt Damon. First thoughts on that. Well, how do you feel about that?
Why? I know how you feel about Matt Damon, so. All right, why not?
It's like, what the hell?
It's strange, it's funny, but like that's something that I don't know, like why would they put that out?
It's very
or let it get
it's
out.
very like with the director's humor. Because that's just a funny
thing to see in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him doing that.
And it's like Interstellar, where you're just like, whoa, Matt Damon shows up.
Yeah,
it's
gonna be a lot of people going, why does Matt Damon just keep popping?
Yeah, and just like him with long, greasy black hair.
Oh my God.
And like horns and stuff. I don't know.
I want to see it.
Maybe maybe not. Who knows?
He probably looks ridiculous.
This could be the role that makes me like Matt Damon.
Yeah, at last.
Okay, so enough about that. That might not be true. I don't know. I just thought that was crazy enough to talk about. So to our first story about Superman here. Matthew Vaughn was doing a recent interview, and someone asked him, because he was kind of like rumored to be in talks for a Superman movie, and he kind of voiced his opinion on what he thought his Superman movie should be. He kind of said that he would. I'll paraphrase here. He basically said that his version of Superman would be boring. And those aren't my words. He said that he actually said that he thinks his version would actually be boring to us. He wanted to make it more like a Donner film, like the original Superman movies, but kind of like a day in the life sort of thing. And I think that that's kind of more of what we want out of a Superman movie right now.
Sure. Because
we haven't gotten much of him, and I think that maybe seeing what the life of Superman is like just for one day. And it would probably be after Justice League, so presumably he gets resurrected, I'm assuming, and hopefully he has a sweet mullet and.
You want the mullet?
Yeah, a mullet for Superman.
Mullet,
hashtag
beard,
mullet
black
for
suit.
Superman. And I think that I think it would be good because like maybe it would be like back to normalcy for Superman.
Sure.
Back to like a daily, like maybe this is how we see him. I've always, this sounds like dark, but I've always loved those versions in the comic book where someone's like in trouble, they're like gonna jump off a building or like they're gonna do something, and like he's there and he doesn't like just like save them and be like bye,
Have a good one.
He actually like talks to them and like he's so personable as a superhero. Like you just like everyone who's ever like come in contact with him after that they think they're best friends with Superman. So like Jimmy Olsen ain't the only one out there. It's like Jimmy like throws himself into, well, not in this Superman anymore, but he throws himself into danger all the time just so he could tell you like, hey,
well,
Superman.
He already threw himself into danger.
He did, and Superman was a little bit late.
Slightly. Yeah, that's a cool idea. I do agree with the way you put it. Like it might be kind of boring, especially because Matthew Vaughn doesn't really make movies like that.
Yeah, totally. He could also make it like The Incredibles
movies.
Or something too,
yeah.
Where it's like a giant robot or like something.
But yeah, you're right though. We haven't like this Superman. We haven't seen him doing like everyday Superman things. He's either fighting a bunch of Kryptonians or he's fighting Batman,
right?
Or now he's going to be in the Justice League.
Yeah, fighting parademons.
Yeah, so. Why not?
Yeah.
We haven't really seen him doing his own thing.
They kind of tried to do that with Superman Returns.
Yeah.
And
nobody liked it.
It was a little too long. I don't know. We're not going to get into that. But yeah, I think that,
Fighting real estate.
Yeah, totally. That's a job for Superman. But yeah, I think that what they did with Spider-Man would be good for what they did with, like we got that little bit of like chunk of what his life is like during a day-to-day basis, and then kind of like ramp that up to something that could be, extraordinary, and then really get into that Vaughn style, like I just keep going back to Brainiac because I just really want to see like, or maybe Toyman, like a big comical looking, classic looking tin robot, like smashing the hell out of the city or something. And then we got our boy Henry Cavill come up and he's like, what is going on? Turns to the camera like, what a day. Not like that, but that'd be horrible. That'd be like the first thing not to do.
Yeah, this is why you're not directing this Superman.
But because people would be like, is Jerry Bruckheimer behind this? And then Kryptonian stone-hard nipples will be sticking out.
Perfect.
All right, we're going to move on.
That's a movie I want to see.
So we got the Punisher trailer came out. Like the full-blown trailer. We got that queued up to play. This trailer is really hardcore.
Yes.
And it's metal, and not just because of the Metallica soundtrack, but it's very like I thought the Thomas Jane one was depressing, but this one is
the way it starts, as we're about to see right here.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, and then it really kicks in.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, it's just so, you get a feel, like it's initially oozing off of like everything that a Punisher comic or a Punisher adaptation should. Hey, paint oozing, wow, good rigmarole there. Yeah. But yeah, we got to have the shots of the guns, like that's what he's all about. So a lot of people kind of have problems with how like mystical everything's been getting in the Grounded series of things. So I think that this might be a
back
to form, and then we have like he's kind of like taking on multiple different not villains per se, I would say the one main villain is probably like this guy, the CIA guy, who like trained him, I'm assuming, and kind of like made his life hell. Maybe he's the one that's responsible for his family's death. And then one of the last guys walking, that was actually Jigsaw. I think he works for the FBI. And then we got Karen Page in there. Yeah, there's a ton going on. I hope Karen gets a little bit more. Oh yeah, there's Micro. I hope Karen gets a little bit more, like she's more on board with things for one.
Oh my God!
And then
stick in the mud, Karen, ruining everybody's good time.
We're just trying to murder people here, please. No. But maybe she'll be. I think she'll probably be more like on the lines of like giving us exposition. Like finding more out about what happened to Frank, because that was kind of her mission in Daredevil. So maybe that might be like a continuation of that. A lot of great one-liners in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you excited for this?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've been really excited for the series, but this trailer was super awesome. Just the use of one and like the syncing up of the gunshots with the music.
Totally.
So good. It was over the top brutal. Yeah, over the top brutal. Like I'm expecting if they're about to do this correctly.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's Daredevil head smashing scene like 1,000 times.
Yes,
over.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it's got to be bloody. It's got to be a good time. It's got to be.
They're still not giving us the release date.
I think. When do you think? It's coming out this year. So
yeah,
December, maybe?
I'm guessing November. It's obviously going to be later, but I'm guessing November, December. Given the fact that they just keep being like 2017, they're just going to push it to the end.
Yeah.
Like, December 31st, here it is.
They do like half season now, just to be dicks.
Yeah. But either way, it's not far off. So I'm excited.
Yeah, totally. I'm 100% excited for it. There's nothing more to say. It's great.
I might be more excited for this than any of the other
like what could
Netflix
come
series.
after. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me my Moon Knight series or a Blade series. Or Ghost Rider, the Ghost Rider from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. He was really good. Give me that. I'll be fine. Just give us all the Marvel Knights, like all the bad gritty characters, and we'll see that cool level, and that's what I want to see.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Next story, we got the Tomb Raider trailer. And this trailer, a lot of people have been saying that it's pretty much like a shot-for-shot like translation of the game, and for some people that's a problem. For some people it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It stars.
Imagine that divisive.
Yeah, over a video game. But it's kind of like where it's like a mystery of her being left the clues by her father. Speaking of Punisher, he was Jigsaw in Punisher Warzone, the guy playing her father. There he is, and. And yeah, it has to do with a MacGuffin that, is going to save the world or destroy the world. So now she's got to go and take care of business.
Yep.
And prevent the end of times or something. And it's got the dude from Into the Badlands in it. And he's really cool. I think he'll come. Yep, that's him. And yeah, so I think that this could actually be pretty good. I really like. I mean, when I was just the right age for when the first movie came out.
I never saw the first movie. I played the games a little bit, but I never saw the first movie.
Yeah, I loved the first movie when it came out.
I think they made 2 of them, didn't they?
Yeah. It has the first one has Daniel Craig in it. And
yeah.
Like before. And yeah, so this is the plot kind of takes this. Oh, there's Walter Goggins.
Oh, great.
So it kind of takes the same kind of route that what happened to Laura in the games, where she gets like marooned on the island. There's already people there. She kind of gets taken prisoner, and then through like trial by fire, she becomes the Tomb Raider we know and love. And I think that I think that maybe it's like too close to the thing for some people, but I think it's fine. As long as there's enough of her like figuring out stuff, and they're not puzzles from the game. As long as they're not puzzles from the game that like we already know, which that'd be stupid. I don't know why they would do that, but a lot of people were ragging on the Alicia Vikander. She was in Ex Machina, and she was also in one of the last Jason Bourne films.
Yep.
And she was in
The Danish Girl.
The Danish Girl, that's what it is.
Academy Award-winning.
Yeah. So a lot of people were like, why didn't they get the mocap actor to do it or something like that? And I don't know, because she's not an award-winning actress.
Yeah,
I don't know.
why?
Or maybe she is. I don't know.
Yeah, who
I
knows?
don't know. Mocap of the year? I don't know.
No, I think
that
she's
sounds
great, though.
mean,
I think this looks like fun. I mean,
I think that's what we need in a video game movie.
Well,
right
and
now.
yeah, we're still waiting to get like that really good video game movie.
Yeah.
Silent
Hill is really good to me.
The ever elusive, like universally accepted, good video game movie.
Absolutely. We need an Iron Man for
absolutely.
Yeah.
So. So yeah, I'm in on it. I like it.
I like what I've seen. I don't like. I wanted if anyone's been watching Fear the Walking Dead, I've been wanting the chick who's in there, the daughter. I've been really wanting her to play Laura because she almost looks like a younger Angelina Jolie, and I thought that would have been kind of a cool thing. But she's off doing Facebook horror movies. So,
oh yeah, that one.
Friend Request, is that what it's called?
I think so. I don't know. Whatever the name of that movie that I won't see is.
But I think that Tomb Raider is gonna be great. As long as it's just a fun, good action film.
Yeah, that's all it needs. It doesn't need to be
really all it needs
more.
to be.
Yeah.
You know, like you play Uncharted and it's practically like a movie. You know, and it's like there's, you know, it could be a controversial thing to say, but there's like. It's pretty basic gameplay. You know, it's not really. And that's kind of
the floodgates.
And that's kind of what the same thing for the later Lara Croft games, and I think a lot of people do pan them for that. Is kind of it's like, oh, this is just Uncharted, you know. So, you know, so this kind of like maybe puts a nail in the coffin for an Uncharted movie.
Maybe.
No, it's still happening with young Tom Hardy, which I don't know why the hell that's happening. But
oh my God,
we're gonna get off this. we got some movie reviews to get into. We both got a chance to see Kingsman The Golden Circle.
Sure enough.
It has a 7.3 on IMDb right now. Before we get into any kind of spoilers or anything, I guess we should go over our overall thoughts. Would you like to go first?
Sure. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. Not as good as the first one. I think they put it. It had a lot of the same problems as Guardians 2 for me, where it was a lot of the using the fact that we loved the first one to get us on board with this trope or like this joke.
A constant callback to the first movie.
Yeah, it didn't ruin it for me at all, but it was noticeable, and at the same time there were a lot of moments like that too, where I was like, oh yeah, this thing, you know. Yeah. But yeah, overall, I think the scores and the reviews in comparison to the first one are understandable, and
totally.
Yeah, I had fun with it.
Cool. Yeah. I thought it was like an ambitious sequel. It carried the style and like the fast-paced action of the first one. I thought it did really well.
A lot of the action was he's so good with action, but like there's a lot the way he does fight scenes where you don't lose track of what's going on. The way
that is such a gift. That is a gift.
Cool.
That is a gift that
because there's
a lot of directors
there's a
don't
lot
have.
of movies where you'll be watching an action scene, you're like, who's it? What's that now? And
I think
the way he has stuff
a good fight director is never underappreciated for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because you could have your like moments like in the early moments of Civil War where it's like I am getting a headache, I don't know what's going on, or the ending sequence of It where it's just like too shaky, I don't like what's going on here, it's hard to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah.
Or Transformers where it's two crumpled cans rolling down a hill together.
Yeah,
so,
and you're like, which one is the good guy?
Yeah. But yeah, so what else did I think? I thought the hero characters were really strong, but some of the villain characters, they're kind of weaker, not as strong as the first movie. I think Samuel Jackson really set a really high watermark. Not to say that Julianne Moore did a bad job. I thought she was good. She did like she's always good in everything she's in, I'd say. But it's like they created a character and then they kind of like it. I'll say this. I felt like the side story was more important than the actual story. Than the actual plot line. And so then certain things happen to where the focus kind of leaves her and then it's kind of like, oh well, we gotta kind of clean this up real quick, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah, and then the third act, it's like, hey, by the way, I'm the big villain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's get over there.
Yeah. So that was kind of one of the things that I didn't necessarily not like it, but you know, whatever. Yeah. Things I didn't like. I'm not too crazy about the killing of certain characters. I didn't like how it's
pretty unceremoniously.
Yeah, and you could have like sidelined them somehow.
Yeah.
Without without ruining, like, oh, why aren't they there? Why can't they help you?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like, and without it being like, oh God, at the risk of sounding like a spoiler, at the risk of it being like, you just sidelined them because of their gender or, you know,
Sure.
like something like that. I don't want to, you know, I'm not trying to like, you know, stir the pot or anything, but, you know, it could have panned out that way. But I felt like they kind of took the easy way out with that, you know,
Yeah.
and then seeing it in the trailers and stuff. I mean, I guess I could say, you know, they kill off certain characters in the beginning of the movie when they destroy the thing, but it's when they destroy Kingsman, and I thought that was kind of lame. It was just one character in particular I felt like they didn't need to die. Maybe, you know, who knows? With the whole, like, with what happens in this movie, we're probably going to have to get into spoilers now. So
Yeah.
before we get any further, spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. You know, when Colin Firth's character comes back, I feel like they could do something like that in the future.
Sure.
With Roxy's character.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? I don't
Yeah.
know. I did like how they brought back the douchebag villain from the first.
That was great. I didn't even barely recognize him
Yeah,
at
and I was
first.
like, oh, that's him.
And they were nice enough to be like,
hey, remember this guy?
I was like, well, he looks completely different, but yes, I do.
I was like, he's more handsome now.
He was definitely a lot more intimidating.
Yeah, totally. I liked his, like, the whole, like, arm thing. I thought that was
Yes.
pretty cool. And then what else was I not too crazy about? The music festival scene. We should probably get into that.
Yeah.
Before I was laughing at the time, but
Sure.
now that I'm out of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that whole thing did not need to happen.
No.
Like, I'm sure that there's some kind of technology, since we're getting to spoilers. Eggy has to manually insert a tracking device into somewhere that you can assume is not okay to say on YouTube. So, and it was like a weird take on a seduction scene.
Sure.
Like your tropes from, I almost said Indiana Jones, from James Bond.
Yeah.
And
It was just unnecessary.
it was like a really long joke. It was like
Yeah,
it was like an SNL
It was,
skit
and it was
or
complete. It
something.
didn't. It could have been. All it did is add time to the movie. Really,
Yeah,
it
right,
didn't
yeah.
do like
It almost like
the
disjointed
spy
the
organization.
pace a
They
little.
can put trackers of all sorts. I don't know. It was very strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't take me out of it really, but I was like, all right, whatever.
Like, just develop
there's
like
no
a
payoff to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I was trying to think of like a better way to do it, but I
Yeah.
can't think of a better way to do it. So
Gotcha.
maybe they did. Maybe it was the only way. I don't know.
For me, speaking of the music in this one wasn't nearly as well used or strong for me.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know, just
A lot. They needle dropped a lot.
Yeah, it
was
was
like
almost
more-
getting like Suicide Squad territory, where it was like song.
Yeah, I did like the opening sequence with Prince. That was pretty cool.
And pretty much all the Elton John scenes were hilarious.
Yeah. I mean,
and I
I
didn't
thought
expect them to
the karate kick was I was like, you're getting a little
Yep,
up there
a little,
for me.
but most of them were really funny.
Yeah, I was like, I can like my suspension of disbelief that Elton John is like a master
Yeah.
karate man.
Yep.
Like, I mean, you got to be somewhat skilled to get into outfits like that. So maybe he's pretty nimble and
Maybe there's something we don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and then the ending kind of had a weird tropey plot twist of reminiscent of other spy movies. It was the guy from Game of Thrones, and his code name was Whiskey in there.
Yep.
And I really liked his character, so it kind of disappointed me to see him actually be a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I did see it coming. I was like, they're playing off Colin Firth's like issue too much in the movie, so maybe I don't know. I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
So then every time after that, and then when Halle Berry was like, he's the only one who voted against me, I was like, well, that doesn't tell you something. I don't know.
I was expecting more Channing Tatum and Jeff Bridges too.
Yeah.
And which is a shame because they were both good. They just didn't have much to do. They were just kind of. It felt after watching it, felt like they were just added there for names on the poster.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and that was a bummer.
They were too heavily promoted to be.
Yes.
Yeah. And then for him to like just like they sidelined his character.
Yeah, big time.
They could have sidelined Roxy the same way. You know, like. But you know, whatever.
Oh well.
And like, what drug did he do? I don't. Like,
yeah, I don't know. He's just a party guy. All right.
I guess so. He's just hitting the meth pipe. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
well.
It was so weird. But yeah, Jeff Bridges, you know, he's Jeff Bridges. He does his Jeff Bridges shtick, you know.
Yeah.
His like mannerisms, he was like smelling everything.
That was great. My girlfriend kept cracking up when he would sniff the cigar or the cork.
Yeah.
It's just her laughing super loud in the theater.
That's awesome.
She thought it was the funniest
That's
part.
great. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess we should get into ratings.
Sure.
The first Kingsman is like a 7.5 for me.
Sure.
I feel like this one, it's a good continuation, but I feel like it's nothing without the fun of the first one, because it's such a callback to the others, and it's like, again, with that hard plot turn.
Yeah. It doesn't stand alone enough.
Yeah, totally. Where I think that maybe something like Guardians maybe could stand by itself. Guardians 2. So I'm going to give this one 6 golden circles out of 10.
6 golden circles.
So how many golden circles are you going to get engraved onto your body over this one?
Well, I feel like the context is necessary like you did. Like the first one for me is probably around an 8.
Okay.
This one is sitting 6.5, 6.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not a bad movie by any means.
I think it's responding with the audience really well.
Sure,
so that's
people
good.
are definitely enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, not. Is that a segue into what we're about to talk?
I think so. Now we're gonna. This will be a brief discussion. I don't want to keep it too long because people seem to hate or love this film. We also got a chance to see. So this isn't a review. It's more of a discussion.
Sure.
I don't really want to like go into. We're gonna have to go into spoilers about this movie. We're talking about Mother with an exclamation point. I don't want to peek the mic. So this movie stars Javier Bardem as him, and Jennifer Lawrence as Mother, and it also has Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer. So this movie is I saw it, and me and the person I saw it with were the only people in the movie only people in the theater who liked it. There was like verbal bitching over it, and people like just all that for this, or this movie was gibberish, was what I heard. Gibberish. And it was like from a kid younger than me. I was like, okay.
He took his monocle out. He's like,
this is gibberish. Just blasphemy gibberish.
See, that's funny to hear you say that though, because I went opening night and I heard people grumbling a little bit afterwards, but there was nobody in the theater like really making noises of disapproval or anything.
Okay, yeah. So I think this movie's problem is that, I mean, I saw it because of the marketing, you know, but the problem is that it was marketed more as a horror movie, and it did give me the heebie-jeebies, the trailer, we talked about it. It did creep me out, and I thought it was going to be a different movie. But then I started listening to reviews of it, and they kind of curved my expectations. So that's kind of why I wanted to have this. So maybe it'll curve your expectations if you see this movie into more of a positive direction. So audiences are really hating this movie right now. It has a cinema score of F.
Which doesn't happen, really.
Which is very rare.
To put it in context, I think the Emoji Movie has a cinema score of, what, a B? So
that's really weird. And it has an IMDb score of 6.9, so it's hanging in there a little bit
What's the Rotten
better.
Tomatoes sitting at? Because when this first came out, the Rotten Tomatoes was sitting around 90.
Okay.
Which is odd. It's
but
odd
I'm assuming it's hemorrhaged since there.
Well, that's the thing. It's odd for me when Rotten Tomatoes starts to, because that's not people. So the reviews got worse after it came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably more like local paper, maybe some magazine, something. I don't know.
But
so the movie's about, and I'll just kind of swing right into it. It's really an allegory. It's a film. It's like if you had a dream, and the dream was trying to like dumb everything down for you to like understand it better. So Javier Bardem's character is basically God. He's basically God, and Jennifer Lawrence's character is basically Gaia, Mother Earth. And the house that they live in is completely like secluded from everything. They do these establishing shots that are very like let you know that there's no road, there's no nothing. It's very like dream-like. It's hallucinogenic almost. It's very like this isn't a normal universe. Like as soon as you start watching this movie, it opens with a woman burning and you see her disfigured face, and then it cuts to this glass crystal, and then this house that takes the whole movie in repairs itself from being decrepit to like finished and beautiful. And then you see Jennifer Lawrence's character kind of get up, and she's like, "Babe," you know, and so the movie, like, at first it presents itself in a way for us to understand. It presents itself in a traditional, like not traditional so much because of their age difference, but I think because of like God being so old and the Earth being so young, that kind of makes sense.
Sure.
So them two, like, kind of being together, it tries to imitate a normal relationship, and then things that are like prevalent and going wrong with our planet today are explained in ways where it's like the synopsis for the movie explains it, where unwanted house guests come and start to destroy the house and like ruin things and make their life of solitude worse. So it's kind of like an allegory for God creating man, and bringing man into the world, and what kind of consequences are those kind of wreaking on to the planet, the house, after. And you know, people, there's like moments of murder in there. There's a moment of where Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer, they, you know, there's a lot of weird shit that happens in there. There's a lot of biblical references, like he has got a cut in his side, like Adam, like creating the first woman. Then she shows up soon after, Michelle Pfeiffer. Then they kind of have sex in this weird sequence, and then the kids show up soon after, and then they're like feuding brothers.
Yeah,
and
like, oh, okay.
and then it's like, okay, it's Cain and Abel, and then so it's like it's kind of going through the timeline of what we perceive as the Earth. So it's kind of like the biblical timeline.
Yeah.
In the eyes of, from the perspective of Mother Earth. So it's like everything that happened in the Bible, but like this is my side of the story. You know, like, so it's kind of really, it's really messed up because of how horrible that she's treated. You know, she's constantly disregarded. It's hard to watch.
It's a very frustrating movie to watch.
Totally.
Because,
it's like,
especially because you're supposed to be relating to her.
And it's only through her perspective.
It just gets worse and worse and worse.
And they do a lot of interesting, he does a lot of interesting directing where he will focus on sound a lot, and on like the sounds that will happen and how they will like hurt her and annoy her or something like that, and how it's so close to her perspective that we're like too close, you know, like the camera's really up close. You know, we so it like really kind of like injects you into the moment of whatever she's going through, and like you're feeling every single ounce of it every bit of the time. And so she has this weird, I should probably get into this, she has a weird relationship with the house. You want to, your take, and you want to explain a little bit on the house? She kind of, there's a heart inside of it.
Yeah, it's very strange. I want to revisit this movie just because, mostly for those aspects of things. But yeah, and then she's taking what's that medicine thing that she's
she takes like this elixir.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I
wonder what that was an allegory for. I still can't figure out what that was about.
Yeah, the house is bleeding and things of that nature.
There's like a giant like heart inside of it, and she like feels the walls, and she can kind of like connect with it. Yeah. So it's kind of like she is like the caretaker, and they explain that in the sense where she restored the house. That's kind of like the exposition that we're given. You know, and so it's interesting that they kind of take it that way, and again, I feel like it's like way for our dumb mortal minds to like comprehend it, you know, like, so
it's at the same time really heavy-handed, and also there's things that I'm like, what are they going for?
I feel like people don't also a lot of people don't like to feel like they're being preached at. Yeah. And I feel like you could definitely feel
much that
like you're being preached at. But for me, I felt like it was like a horror movie in the sense where it's like where you start to understand actually what she's going through, and like just how utterly alone she is this whole time. And there's like some horrible scenes of where, you know, the house guests, they kind of ruin the house in this first part of to the second act. And then she gets, they kind of, it's kind of like where Adam and Eve are thrust from the garden. And so it's kind of like that. And then after that, where Javier Bardem and Jennifer Lawrence's characters, they kind of connect again. And you think things are going to be okay because she gets pregnant. and she has this child, or she's pregnant and she's going to have this child, and so you think things are going to be okay, but God has inspiration again. Javier Bardem's creator, he's kind of portrayed as a writer in this.
Yes.
And so he creates this new piece of art, which is presumably like the New Testament or something like that, I'm assuming, and it resonates with everybody. So all these people start to come to the house, and they see him as like this like prophet. They see him as like the Tom Cruise times like a billion or something, like Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, like molded together. And like so many people come from all over the place, all over the wherever the hell is going on.
Out of the woods.
Yeah, they just kind of walk out of the woods. It's really creepy. And they all kind of show up at this house. And at first it's like they're all on the outside, and then slowly but surely people start coming inside their house and ruining this dinner and all this stuff that they had planned for each other. And Javier Bardem's character is constantly like ignoring her and neglecting her.
Yeah.
Because
it's okay, you know.
Yeah, and because he loves humanity more than he loves Earth, and that's kind of like because he created it and he just kind of like set up shop on this rock, you know. And so then it just gets worse and worse, and then it goes from like, okay, this is weird, to what the hell am I watching?
It's the most insane movie I've ever seen.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
It's like it's like inside the house. There's their own time. Like time moves at a different pace, so things start to pick up really fast. Kind of like how it was moving throughout the biblical history. It goes into like our future almost, where it's like people start to destroy the house and they start ripping things apart, and then they just rip things off the walls just to say that they had it. And then, really, it's like scary sequences, like where she's still pregnant and she's like being put in mortal danger.
Yeah, it just gets really out of control really fast.
Yeah, it's very visceral. It's very alarming, to say the least. Should we get into the whole baby thing?
If you want. It's the baby thing I was watching an interview with Aronofsky and Jennifer Lawrence a couple days before I went to see it, and she was talking about something like about this movie scarring people, and I was like, oh, hold on, I don't think your movie's all that. And then I was watching the movie, I was like, oh, okay,
that's the moment she's talking about.
Yep, I see it.
So she has this baby, and it doesn't really go well for her. I should say.
It's the best way I can describe
I won't get into it deeply, but it's disturbing, and like it's so much of like how infantile of a species we are. It kind of like iterates that, like how we're all like toddlers, ripping things apart, tearing things apart, like we're all trying to figure out our own identities and figure out, and like we think we're right. There's like guys in like certain parts of the room, like she's trying to get around this huge house, and there's like different horrors going on in different parts of the house. Like one part of the house, there's like false prophets and like I guess we'll drop that cameo. Spoiler. Kristen Wiig just shows up out of nowhere. She plays as his like publicist, but then she turns into an executioner holding people, like dual guns, like shooting people in the head, and like there's like human trafficking kind of like things going on where there's like cages full of young people, and it's really scary. Like it's all like it's like a Silent Hill horror dream.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like,
that's why I was happy to see that you were like, oh, we're just gonna discuss it instead of like reviewing it, because the first thing, as soon as I saw it and people are asking me like, oh, was it good? But I was like, I haven't even thought of it in terms of good or bad. It's just like something you need to see because it's outrageous.
And so when I saw the preview before it, that kind of painted a better picture, but still it like was more horror focused. But it said like, get your tickets now to experience.
Yeah, that trailer was really off-putting to me, and so I almost was like, I don't want to see this movie.
Yeah, so it's like, at first I was like, well, geez, beat me over the head, why don't you? But now I'm like, okay, maybe they're trying to do a little bit.
I get it a little
bit
more
of saving face after. So I guess we'll wrap it up by saying, if you go into this movie, keep a wide open mind. Like maybe you're not religious, which is fine. Maybe you're not. Maybe you are really religious, which is fine. But just kind of like maybe this kind of movie is like Aronofsky's way of working things out for himself. That's kind of like what he told everybody. And he kind of just got these actors to go on this ride with him. He's like, look, I'm going to make something really weird. You know, he like shot like a mock film of this like, before he even like got into actually making this movie. So I would say this is a really weird, like feverish dream kind of movie. And so maybe like your Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas or, but like it like I can't even, maybe like it's the only movie I could really think of it being close to is like a Eraserhead or something where it's so like you're just like, I don't know what's going on. It's kind of all up to me and what I think. Yep. So and that's kind of where it all boils down to is what do you think of it? What do you get out of it? You know. So I don't even know if I recommend you to see it because I don't want to be held responsible. Yeah.
But if you do,
but if you're curious, maybe you'll see it. Maybe wait for it to come out. I don't know.
Just don't. The common thread from everybody I've talked to that really, really hated it was the expectations they had for
Totally, yeah. I think that's what I got out of it.
Drop them if you're gonna go see it, I would say.
Yeah, great advice.
And just watch the movie.
Totally. Just intake. You know how you take in those dumb summer movies? Do the same thing.
Take it in because it's wild.
Yeah. All right, well, guys, that was our show today. Got a little weird and deep there at the end, but yeah, that's kind of what that movie was about. So maybe we did need to get a little weird and deep in this bunker. So if you liked what you saw, if you like what you heard, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button for me. That'd be amazing, and I give you my thanks. We have a new episode every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be doing movies one week, and then the next week we'll probably do toys. October is going to be a big month for me, so we're going to be doing a lot of different toy-related stuff, lots of horror stuff, and maybe closer to the end of the month, and I would like you to come on. Maybe we could do a best horror movies for Halloween, like our top 5 or something like that. Best horror movies. I think that'd be pretty fun. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at VideoVomit. You can follow me at all my other neglected social media sites. And then, Tom, it was good having you, but I'm sorry, you got to go back to the cage.
All right, lock me back up. Until next time.
Until next time, guys. Same time, same place. See you later.